Hello everybody, welcome to this series of podcasts by Vajiram and Ravi. This is Pooja Singh and today we have Viren Sharma sir with us. Sir, welcome to the podcast.
Thank you.
Today we'll be discussing that why you should be choosing public administration as your optional subject. Sir, first of all the question will be what according to you the right optional is? Like what is the definition of right optional for you?
Correct. That's a slightly tricky thing, that what is right and what is wrong.
True.
Is it? So any optional which can give you success will become right for you. And in case if that optional is not giving you a subject or success, then that will become a lesson for you. And throughout the civil service journey, people make these kind of dilemma. Which subject shall I choose? Shall I go for my graduation subject, or shall I go for the new subject which can be useful for my general studies preparation? So to take a right decision about an optional subject, you can think from your general studies perspective. Like you study in your civil service preparation about history, about geography, polity, so political science. Similarly, PubEd. PubEd is also similar to the polity, and that can become a right subject. So the subject which can give you success will become right for you. This is one of the most easiest way to decide right or wrong.
True. Sir, you have given 15 years in this subject. Like you have experience of 15 years of teaching this subject. So what would be your justification of having public administration as the right optional subject?
Correct. See, you can study any optional subject, but after selection, what is the work you are going to do? You will be working as a public administrator. A civil servant is a public administrator. And what is actually public administration? Public administration is government administration.
Okay.
That means like you have a business organization. So people call it corporate sector. In corporate sector, people come by studying the business administration, BBA, MBA, BCom. Similarly, if you have to come to the government, so what will you study? So people study about political science, people study about sociology. So these subjects can help you in order to write your answer. But practical application, so that thing you can learn by studying this public administration. And even after your selection as a student, you will be undergoing the training. And at that time also, this subject is also part of the training. So if you study something already during your competitive stage, that will always give you an edge at the time of even training, and it will actually give you a practical understanding of Indian governance, how the government function, where policies are formulated, where policies are implemented. And that is why this subject gives you an insight about Indian administration and the Indian governance system.
Okay, so
Yes.
I think at many times you must be feeling that this subject should be a compulsory one in this UPSC CSC journey, right?
Absolutely, you have raised the correct question. We all are aware about a commission called Administrative Reforms Commission. So 2005 to 2009, during that time period, UPSC has assigned this responsibility to Veerappa Moily Commission.
Okay.
That suggests us the reforms. And that commission recommended bring new pattern for civil services. And they said make public administration as a compulsory subject.
Okay.
Their recommendation was create National Institute of Public Administration.
Okay.
Student will do graduation from there. So they will study what? PubEd. And they will become eligible to compete in the civil service exam on the basis of their degree.
Okay.
Then what will happen to the other? There are engineers, there are doctors also.
True.
Is it? There are chartered accountants as well.
True.
So then it was suggested by the commission only that these other universities can run a bridge course.
Okay.
Bridge course in the sense they may be studying doctor, but they will do a 6 months to maximum 1 year bridge course, and thereafter they become eligible to appear in the civil services, so that pool will be bigger. Otherwise NIPA may have a capacity of just 100 student, 200 student, so pool of the students will be less.
Okay.
That's why this recommendation has came. But that means if you go by this idea, so PubEd will be mandatory. Then what government have done, government changed the pattern of examination and they incorporated the syllabus of PubEd in the general studies paper.
Okay.
So either you study PubEd optional or not. You are bound to study in the GS paper 2, GS paper 3, as well as the GS paper 4 also.
Okay.
As a result, everybody today is studying public administration optional indirectly.
Truly.
In addition to their optional subjects.
It is heart and soul of CSC.
Absolutely, absolutely.
True. When we are talking about public administration, we talk about the syllabus. So in just how would you describe the syllabus of PubEd?
Okay. As far as the syllabus is concerned, there is a division of this paper into 2 papers. Paper 1, that is called administrative theories, or in other words, public administration theories and concepts.
Okay.
This paper 1 is about management topics. This also consists of polity portions.
Okay.
And it also consists of some portions from economics, financial administration,
All right.
and civil services. That means 4 major portions can be part of paper 1.
Okay.
First, management portion. That will help you to understand managerial skills, administrative skills. Because being an administrator, you don't have to work. You have to get the things done
Done.
by your subordinates, by your team members. So how will you make somebody work against their will? Sometimes there is resistance. So we need managerial skills
Okay.
to make the people work. That is what we study in paper 1. Plus, in the same subject, there are financial administration topics.
Okay.
Understanding about budget, international comparison of the various types of budget. These kind of portions are also in the paper 1. Plus, there is also personnel administration.
Okay.
Personnel administration you can call like human resource management. In any business organization, there is HR. That HR thinks about recruitment, that talks about
True.
training things. So those ideas for government across the world can be covered from that paper.
Okay.
And finally, accountability and control. We are giving you so much of autonomy. You can work, but you also have to be accountable for the working. So how parliament may exercise control, how judiciary may exercise its control, then how citizens can exercise control through right to information, through citizen charter. These type of portions are there in paper 1.
Okay.
That means paper 1 can give you foundation
Okay.
of administration. And paper 2 is exclusively about Indian administration. How will you apply all these understanding in India? So constitutional values, that is a part in paper 2. Union government, state government, and local self-government. So all 3 levels of governance is covered by the Indian administration paper 2.
Okay.
And exclusively district administration, because initially these IAS officers, they will be working in the district. So what are the role and responsibilities of a district administrator? That is covered within the syllabus. Then after 10-15 years of working, they will come to the secretariats as a level of deputy secretaries. So that point of time, they will be the project heads. They will participate as the head of the project, and 25 to 28 years of service experience, they go to the secretary level position. Then they become policy makers.
Okay.
So imagine initially your experience is to execute policy, then to head policy, and then to formulate policy. If this thing you study in your educational career, then you can definitely transform the system when you become an administrator and can contribute towards the nation building and social development of this country.
True.
That is a part of this Indian administration syllabus. And one more important area is law and order administration. Being an administrator, you have to maintain law and order in your district when you are in the district. When you become the state level head, then as a chief secretary, you have to maintain it in the entire state, and as a cabinet secretary, as a home secretary, entire country will become the responsibility. So these kind of dynamic portions are there in the paper 2 syllabus. Paper 1 is more and more static part.
Okay.
Because whatever the F.W. Taylor has said in 1920s will remain same.
True.
He has already gone. So whatever his contribution is there, that you will learn and apply in the today's time period.
True.
Paper 2 is Indian administration. So what is written in the constitution will also remain similar, but application. Application sometime matches the constitution, sometime deviates from the constitution, and that thing has to be judged and evaluated on the basis of contemporary issues
Okay.
happening in the country, and that example will be used while writing your pub answers.
Okay.
So this is the way how you can divide this syllabus, isn't it? So paper 1 is more about concepts, managerial concepts, financial concepts, human resource concepts, and paper 2 is exclusively about Indian administration and Indian governance.
Okay.
That means all 3 levels of government along with law and order, maintenance, and your role as a district administrator. So this is an idea about the PubEd's overall syllabus.
So the way you have glorified this hierarchical roles of administrator, I hope everybody is like imagining themselves in this like whole scenario.
Absolutely, because this is a clarity we need. Sometime it is there that see, I have a goal to become a civil servant, but I have not decided the timeline that in how many years I have to crack this exam.
True.
So this is not goal. This is just fantasy. You have a fantasy to become a civil servant, but how and in how much time period you are planning to execute this goal, then only it will become an objective. So I have decided, let's see, I want to be an IAS officer and I will be contributing 3 years of my life for preparing. That means I have now an objective. I have decided objective. So what are my efforts? I will start searching. What optional I should take. How I will study the GS, how much time I will give. Then only this success can be achieved in a time-bound manner. Otherwise, it's a fantasy for larger number of aspirants that they wanted to be civil servant, but how, when, and in which manner, that is still not clear.
True. So strategy is very important. So talking about the time period and duration, what exactly is the duration that is needed to cover the syllabus of PubEd?
Correct. The syllabus for any optional in the UPSC is of honors level.
Okay.
That means 3 years of your graduation is there, and literally for the that is master's first year portion, is it? So that is the level of the syllabus. So here, because you have to compete in a limited span of time, so on an average 5 months
Okay.
is the duration for the classes and coverage of syllabus.
All right.
Fine. But I still prescribe to all my students, let's see, don't study just for 5 months. Because this subject is even useful in your general studies. So you can study this subject even for 7 months also.
Okay.
2 months of your self-study. By that time you are here in Delhi. I am taking the classes of other batch. So you will be free to come and ask your doubts, clarify your confusions, and obviously make your journey easier in comparison to any another optional subjects.
True, sir. So when we talk about public administration, so are the study materials and like resources available easily for this subject?
Okay. So when we talk about the study material support, there are very limited number of books we require. This subject is not a part of the regular graduation in various universities. Therefore, the number of material required is also limited, and that is decent enough.
Okay.
Means if as a student you want to start, for paper 1, 2 to 3 books are more than enough. Same way for paper 2 also, 2 to 3 books are more than enough to prepare your syllabus. When you come to Vajiram, we have developed here pink booklets.
Okay.
These pink booklets are updated every 3 years. Paper 1, which is a static part, nothing will change. So maximum portion remain similar. Paper 2, as I was telling you, is a dynamic part. So any new commission appointed, any new constitutional body came into existence. So we update that and add it into the pink booklets.
Okay.
So that as a student, you do not have to search for so many materials. As a student, you wanted to trust your institution, your teacher, who can also become your mentor. If your teacher becomes your mentor, journey become very easy.
True.
Sometimes there are differences. Teacher is having one opinion, mentor is having different opinion, and the student get confused. So in order to overcome that thing, it is always first priority as a student I give always to my teacher. That because he's the one who has taught me first. So if I get my doubt clear from there only, I can simply become self-independent and can make my journey easy. I do not have to run here and there just to prepare and write my answers. So there is enough material. Vajiram's pink booklets are also very good resource, and even we have taken ideas from the IGNOU's material because IGNOU is conducting the master's program in PubEd. There are very limited university which are running PhD also in public administration. So all the good material resources are already incorporated in the form of pink booklets.
All right.
Yes.
So when we talk about the performance of this public administration subject, so how has it been performing like in past few years if we look at the results also from 2023?
Yes, correct. So for this purpose, I just tell you the complete history of this optional.
Okay.
This optional introduced in 1989 onwards from the mains examination of UPSC. So that means since 1989, today we are standing in 2024. Approximately 35 years of journey. Less than 35 years because this year's mains will be conducting. When the pattern was 2 optional subjects, that point of time, every next student who was clearing the civil services was having PubEd as his one of the optional out of the 2.
It is conventional subject.
Yes, because it is smaller in size. It will help you to understand practical aspects. However, in the recent years, the number of student intake of PubEd has declined. It is because of the competition by its mother discipline.
Okay.
Its mother discipline is political science and IR.
Okay.
PubEd has emerged out of political science only. That's why both of these subjects have lot of similarity. However, the number of thinkers you will study here are management thinkers.
Okay.
Not the political science philosophers. And that is why this subject give you more administrative and managerial skills in comparison to the political philosophies, which is a part of the political science. And at present, this subject is in the top 5. The most successful subjects in that context, political science is there, sociology is there, anthropology is there, geography is there, and PubEd is there. So that means still it is in the top 5 list. And this is based upon fact only. What I am sharing you is 72nd report of the UPSC. I cannot change the report. I cannot change the data.
The statics speak.
Absolutely. So the data speaks and data speaks very silently. Success ratio. Success ratio is similar to its competitor, political science. Political science success ratio is 8%, PubEd ratio is 7.5. 1,800 students have appeared with the political science, but success ratio is only 8%. Here, around 300 students have appeared, and out of them 38 students.
Okay.
So somewhere around 75%, 7.5% success ratio is there, which is a decent enough success ratio as far as UPSC competitions are concerned. That's why it is still in the top 5. However, yes, rank 1 is not coming, so it is not that much visible. But what can I say? There can be an unfortunate time period with the optional.
True.
In 2019, PubEd gave rank 1.
All right, yeah.
Fine. That means it's not that much far away. Unfortunately, that year COVID came.
Yeah.
So students have appeared in 2019 exam. Result came in 2020. During that time, lockdown and offline classes were all off. Only online classes were there. And our Vajiram student, Pradeep Singh, he scored rank 1.
Yeah.
And as far as his preparation was concerned, he got record marks in the GS as well as optional.
Okay.
One very unique thing which students are unable to digest. People were making up fun Let's see, he got less marks in the interview. Rank 2, rank 3, rank 4, they all have higher marks than the interview. But that is actually the success story of this optional. Only 157 marks if somebody is getting in the interview and still getting rank 1. How is it possible? It is possible because of the marks scored in the mains examination and the optional subject. He got somewhere around 294 marks out of 500. That means 60% roughly. So it is wrong to say that the subject is not scoring.
It is a kingmaker. In his case, you can see. Definitely.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And this is even itself proving. Current year also, we have got rank 20 from the PubEd. And he's again our classroom student. He's participated in a test series also. That means the subject is there. The only problem is visibility. Because, hard hypothesis.
True.
So because of the hard hypothesis, what happened that people only look towards rank 1. Imagine if rank 1 came from medical science. So as a commerce student, as a science student, will you go for the medical science?
Definitely no.
But that's how people think.
True.
That I will take that optional subject which has given the rank 1.
True.
It is quite possible you may be standing at a wrong stage.
That is a very smart statement.
Yes,
you've given.
and after 1 year you will realize that I have committed a mistake.
True.
And then the same question will come, was your decision right?
Exactly.
It become a lesson.
It starts again from the first question.
Absolutely. So that's why before taking any decision about this, you can take these decisions on the basis of your GS studies. Is it?
Truly.
And people may be opting for, let's say, suppose I'm just giving an example, medical science. So who will choose medical science? The person who is either a doctor.
True.
Or have a very good research work in the field of bio, they may prefer for that purpose of medicine or medical science. Who will take the political science? So 50% of the students are those who have studied political science in their graduation or masters. Fine. For medical science, 100% people know what is medical science. For political science, 50% of the people know what is medical science. Geography, lot of engineering students are taking geography because they have been convinced by the market that geography is very scientific subject.
Okay.
And for engineers, it is very easy. And in that case, even in the geography, 20 to 30% students are those who have studied geography in their graduation and post-graduation. But one unique thing about PubEd is what? Out of 100 students who are opting for this, 99 do not know what is PubEd at the time of joining.
Okay. True.
That means the competition will be more fairer, more like-minded thought processes.
True.
And one only may have done the studies of PubEd because it is available in the graduation in very limited university. Even those who study political science, BA honors, political science or masters, they also study PubEd as one of their paper in the graduation.
Yeah.
So they sometimes have an edge when they decide to take this optional subject. Otherwise, more or less, the competition is among like to be treated alike kind of people.
True.
Because here 99 when don't know what is PubEd. So
they
everything
come with a clean slate.
So everything comes upon how you compete.
Exactly.
How in a disciplined manner you will study for 5 months. How will you follow for the next 2 months? So these 7 months of your investment can make you a king.
True.
And the subject will be kingmaker.
True.
No other subject can give you this much shortage.
And everybody will be looking at you. What optional did you take?
Absolutely.
Which option did you take to get this rank? Okay.
This is also correct. And even during the time when I used to prepare for myself, that point of time, I was a commerce graduate. So my first preference was obviously commerce and accountancy. And the second option I took was PubEd. And when I started reading this subject, from the coverage point of view, because as a graduate I have an understanding of the commerce that time. So after 2-3 months of the studying this subject, I found that this is more useful in comparison to my commerce and accountancy. And I have changed it from my second optional to first optional. Okay. Because that point of time in the prelims also, optional subject used to be conducted.
Okay.
Yeah. So that edge I got from this subject only, and gradually the things changed. I like this subject that even I did my master's also later,
Yeah.
and even planning to go for the research also, so that it can again provide an input to my students who are coming here for the preparation, and obviously can be part of their successful journeys.
Definitely, sir. Sir, like we are talking about the benefits of having this subject. Sir, how strategically and personally this subject is going to benefit the students, as we have talked about the overlapping. Can you please like briefly explain that?
Okay, that means basic idea is about the how it will be having an overlapping
Yes.
with the general studies paper.
Yes.
Is it? Okay, so in GS paper 1, if I say this history, geography, social issues, so there's not that much overlapping. Very limited area of social issues you can link with law and order and these kind of idea. But from GS paper 2 onwards, you will find that you got a bumper lottery.
Okay.
The paper 2 is about polity, constitution, governance, international relations, and social justice. And you will find 2/3 of the syllabus
Okay.
of that 250 marks weightage is having an overlapping with the puppet.
All right.
That means it will go up to around 175 marks of weightage out of 250.
Okay.
I was telling you, in Indian administration, union government, state government, local cell government, all are there. So that is part of polity and governance. There are topics like citizen charter, right to information, secretariat directorate, and these days these questions are there in the polity paper, and they all are covered by the puppet syllabus. That means 175 marks weightage roughly out of 250 can be in that part.
All right.
Political science can claim we have 250 marks weightage. Yes, they can claim. But IR in the optional subject and IR in the GS is a completely different story.
True.
That means with minimum efforts, you can achieve maximum success if you go for the public administration optional for your preparation. Then when we come to this GS paper 3, GS paper 3 is the most dynamic paper.
Okay.
That consists of economics, science and technology, disaster management, environment ecology, and security issues. 5 portions are there in the GS paper 3. Out of these 5 portions, security issues, because we have a unit, law and order administration. Plus, for disaster management also, we have a topic in our puppet.
Okay.
And I was telling you, economics portions, budget, monetary
Yes.
policy, public sector undertakings. We have a special unit for the government companies, PSUs. So from their origin to the contemporary issues of disinvestment, privatization is also covered in the puppet syllabus.
Right.
So roughly this weightage will be ranging between 60 to 80 marks. It is the least weightage.
Oh my God. You can't run away from public administration.
Yes, absolutely. You cannot run away from this. So this is
Okay.
imagine the least weightage I'm saying is 60 to 80. And when you go to the GS paper 4, that is about ethics, integrity, is it? In that paper, case studies are there which are for 120 marks weightage. And theories portion also. You just leave certain portions of philosophers and basic ideas of ethics, integrity. Whatever is left, that is called probity in governance
Okay.
and civil services in India. That exactly is a syllabus of puppet paper 2. Civil services in India, role of a district administrator, and if you add theory and the case studies portion, the weightage will be around 180 marks out of 250.
Okay.
That means GS paper 2, 175 marks of weightage out of 250. GS paper 3, 60 to 80 marks is the range.
Okay.
GS paper 4, minimum weightage is 180 marks.
That is
Means
so great.
as a student,
Yeah.
you study for an optional subject for 500. 500.
That is
So
too
any
much.
any optional can be of 500.
Yeah.
If you go for overlapping with the GS, some optional can claim 600, some can claim 750. Puppet is the only one which can claim 850 marks
Yeah. That is
instead
too
of
much.
500
Yeah.
marks.
When we calculate all the 4 papers.
And this is fact.
Yeah.
And because of this reason only, even an average student who may not be very much good in terms of studies or studious one, but he is just a disciplined student. Discipline in the sense you are studying a subject today, doing a self study, and also practicing some answer writing. So that student have more chances of succeeding in a limited number of attempts.
Okay.
And this is why the people who opt for this subject, they are not worried about their polity and governance portion, their ethics portion, because they get all that understanding even in the puppet classes. And that makes their journey easier than any other option. And one more thing I want to highlight here, because it's an overlapping point we are discussing. When you go for your case studies paper, that is GS paper 4. So case studies are given in such a way that what will you do as a district administrator? They don't ask you what you will do as a human. What will you do in the given circumstances if you are an administrator? So when as a student I have to answer, maybe I can be very emotional student. I can go with the winds. But that is a mistake. I have to think as an administrator. What are the roles and responsibilities of my office? Is there any conflict of interest between my decision and the government's policy? And accordingly, I have to suggest the solution. And if you develop this habit, you will be scoring record marks in the GS paper 4. Our student, rank 1, Pradeep Kumar, he got the highest marks in the GS paper 4. That is one of the reason why, despite having low marks in the interview, he was the top one.
The reason is too much overlapping.
Absolutely. The reason was too much overlapping between the optional subject. Even sometime our director, sir, Ravindra sir, I used to discuss with him that despite having all the positive things, but still there is an issue which is among the students. He said that, see, every subject has a life. It's economics, slow growth, then suddenly a high growth rate will come, then stagnation will come, then there's a recession comes, and then the recovery stage may come. That is all happening with all the subjects.
True.
So it is still in the top 5. That means it will never go down, and it will always remain in a higher top 5 number of subjects. So this is a reality for the subject options. But yes, these days, from the politics, I have one simple quotation. Every politician is using these days.
Sure.
See, if you cannot convince the people, confuse them.
True. That is very smart.
You can't convince, no problem. Just confuse them.
Yeah.
As a result, people do not know what is right, what is wrong.
They listen to you.
And that is why this subject is also facing a challenge. Despite the fact that it is in the top 5, people are still saying it is not scoring. It has declined. Paper has been a turmoil, turbulence kind of paper has came. See, every optional subject have challenges. Maybe two questions, 3 questions can be vague. There are 8 questions in the exam. If we further divide these 8 questions, now there are 28 parts.
Okay.
As a student, you are writing 19 parts. That means still there are options to leave the questions. And whichever is your best foot forward, pick that subject, pick that question. That's why we prepare the student in such a way that you are not going to write only 5 answers out of 8. We train you in such a way that you can answer minimum 6. So that if there's a turbulence also in the exam, you can still have a safe landing in the examination. Takeoff, we will help you initially, but landing is equally important. And that landing, we will train you in such a way that you can easily answer minimum 6 questions out of 8, so that if one question is vague, you still will be in a safer zone.
True.
And that is the means responsibility of every teacher, every mentor who is guiding you in this civil services journey.
Definitely, sir. So we talked about the subject. Now let's talk about the pedagogy. What is the teaching style that is going to be followed in our classrooms?
Okay, perfect. Even by this interaction also, I think the students are getting that, see how
Yes,
I
sir.
teach.
Yes, sir. They are getting an idea. Yes, sir.
Isn't it? So when we talk about the subject specialization and how we teach in the classroom program, so I have a very combination of a traditional as well as a casual way of teaching.
Okay, sir.
Traditional way in the sense that, see, I introduce you to the concept. If it is paper 2, I will incorporate the constitution as the first topmost priority. If it is paper 1, I will be taking you to the ideas what scholar has said.
Okay.
So that first you study the static part. The static part help you to develop concept. If you have a conceptual clarity, then I can take you to the practical application. And this practical application is the contemporary issues. People study concepts separately, people study current affairs separately. I believe a combination of concept with current affair is equally important, and that will become a conceptual current affair. And this conceptual current affair is missing these days because people have made a market. Right? Education is also becoming a market these days. So different people have a different choices. But I still believe that if we can have a combination of concept with current affair, that will help my student to become self-dependent in a limited span of time and achieve this journey in just 1 or maximum 2 attempts only. But if somebody is less serious, then definitely they faces this challenge. And when we are doing our topic in the class, I always try that once the concept is given, then we also focus on analysis.
Okay.
UPSC is not bothered about what and how. UPSC is bothered about why and how will you reform. So for reform purpose, we require recommendations, suggestion, and as a student, how much you can think. So what you do, we introduce the students with recommendations of constitutional bodies, administrative reforms commission as a part of our classroom discussion.
Okay.
That means you as a student will get a complete A to Z journey in one single lecture on one particular topic. Constitutional provision, conceptual provision, what is happening presently, and what are the suggestions you can give for the futuristic reform. And that structure is actually required for writing your answers, not in optional only, but even in the GS. That means if you study optional, you can even get a very good score in your general studies.
True.
Even you study any optional subject, you have to study ARC. Administrative Reforms Commission, and for the current time period, second ARC is important. They gave 15 reports, and student ask what is the shortcut? Each report is having 200-300 pages, so give us some synopsis for that. So I usually suggest, let's see, do not worry about the 15 reports. Out of 15 reports, minimum 8 reports will be part of our syllabus. And we will bring the report with relevant topic. How? Suppose there's a report on crisis management.
Okay.
Crisis management is also called disaster management. So when I'm teaching the disaster management topic in the class, I will start from Disaster Management Act. What are the present convention going on with the disaster management, like Sendai Framework 2015, that is presently also under application till 2030. So linking it with the past Hugo Framework 2005, Sendai Framework 2015, then what ARC has recommended to further reform, and how government have formulated National Disaster Management Plan on the basis of these. All 3-4 components, when as a student you get at one stage, imagine your conceptual clarity. You don't need any another alternative material because no such single material cover all the 4 dimensions. That means your class notes will become your weapon.
True.
Weapon because it's a fight. It's a competition, and you cannot grant the things to walk away to the other people. And my students usually they give a credit also to me for this, that see sir, we are reading this note even for our prelims.
That's so great. That is
Why?
a very big compliment.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Why this is the case, that they are reading it for the prelims. Optional's role will come only at the stage of mains. But as I'm telling you, subjects like history, geography, polity, they are in prelims. So if these are your mains optional subjects, they will also help you in the prelims. And that's why they are reading their paper 2 PubEd notes even for the prelims, to get wider concepts, to get an understanding, and then they get the success. In fact, this year, I bought a book in the month of February, Why Bharat Matters, just for my self-study. I have a fond of reading for certain books. So it's written by our External Affairs Minister, Mr. S. Jaishankar. Right. So when I got that book, I read just introduction part. Next day, I went for my lecture. So I said that, see, there's a book recently launched, written by our External Affairs Minister, and I'm finding it very interesting because he has quoted multiple ideas of ancient time period to the present time period, how diplomacy is useful. And in case you get a time, so after your prelims, you can also read it, or at the time of your interview, you can read it. And coincidentally, there was a question in prelims. Who is the author of Why Bharat Matters? Imagine, nobody have visualized that this can happen. And this is what is called contemporary discussion, which can even participate and play an indirect role in the prelims. Yes, the two books names were given, and both are written by the same person, S. Jaishankar, and one question have came this way. So sometimes this is a case. That only just about a discussion on a topic, but beyond that, if some positive thing have been done by any individual from the ruling party, opposition party, or scholars, and if you just introduce this thing, so who knows that this kind of questions can come.
True.
So this is how we cover in our classes, from basic concepts to the application parts.
That is so great. So I would like to ask another question. So how special is public administration optional at Vajiram and Ravi?
Correct. As obviously I have explained you so many things now about the PubEd and being a faculty at Vajiram, so you can understand that, see, this is how we are dealing. So PubEd at Vajiram is going to make your journey easier. Reason, the material support in the form of pink booklets, that is there. The PubEd is covered by 3 faculties. Amit sir is there, Vivek sir is there, and myself also. So major portion, around 60% of the syllabus I will be taking. 35% syllabus, 35% syllabus Vivek sir will be taking, and rest just 2-3 units Amit sir, because he is also having various other workloads, so he will be taking the minimum portion. And by this division, we are able to contribute more and more of our time for the quality enrichment regularly. If as a one person I have to cover entire syllabus, then what happened, regularly I will get a lesser time for the updates. So for that purpose, we divide between the 2 or maximum 3 faculty, and this is the practice of Vajiram. Vajiram is not giving complete syllabus to one. So it's a division of work. As a result, obviously you have, as a teacher, you also have your personal life as well. So you wanted to give a time. Student have to dedicate 100%. But if as a teacher, I am also busy for all 7 days, then how will I go for the quality enrichment?
Also, so variation comes in this whole optional paper. In one subject, you are getting 3 experts.
Absolutely.
What else do you need?
Yes. So that is why this division of work is done, to make the journey good for the students. And by that, as a student, you will also get 3 different viewpoints. Everybody has its own opinion. And the best thing what PubEd teaches is, see, there is no conflict between us. Conflict is not there. We have a difference of opinion. So difference of opinion does not make us each other's enemy. It's just like you have your liberty, I have my liberty, but still we both can coexist. And that is good for any organization. That is good for even the clients as well. Here the clients can be replaced by the students.
Yeah.
So as a student, you will get 2-3 different viewpoints from 2-3 different faculties.
And you can use all the viewpoints to give a neutral, great answer.
Absolutely. Everything has a pros and cons. So positive and negative, you have to carry both, and then you can present your balanced answer.
And maybe Vivek sir could also tell a book he has read that could come in prelims as well.
Yeah, absolutely. That's also possible.
So, sir, in last few words, please convey a message to the students who are going to enroll in our PABAD optional classes.
Correct. So, here at Vajiram, we are running multiple things under public administration optional. We generally launches a PABAD batch in the month of June. Apart from this, we also launch a batch in the month of October.
Yeah.
So in 1 year, generally 2 batches are available. These are for them who are the beginners. Those who have done the self-study, those who have been studied even from anywhere else also, and they are still not satisfied. For those students, we are also introducing quality enrichment program. This quality enrichment program will be starting from the 15th of July.
Okay.
And quality enrichment program, I will be taking the entire portion, paper 1 as well as paper 2. And it can be conducted in just 3.5 months because the student already have a base. So we can even correlate it with the contemporary issues. And that quality enrichment program will also focus on answer writing practice. How previous year questions have been asked, how you can structure your answer, and also what are the possible important topics for the upcoming years. That means your journey can become smoother, even though you have done a self-study earlier or you may have studied from anywhere. And crash course is also available. The crash course is not to get crash. The crash course is only for the purpose that sometimes people are working professionals. Some are management students. They have done their MBA and the other one. So they want one paper to do on their own and they just want to focus upon the remaining. So for that type of student and the client base, this crash course and quality enrichment program will be very much suitable. And quality enrichment program time period is usually this time, July onwards till November. So that December, January onwards, you can start preparing for your prelims again.
Yeah.
Is it? So this time period is right now useful for the mains preparation. So your optional subject can be covered in this time phase. December, January, you just focus upon your prelims portions. And that point of time, even if you are studying optional, then just try to focus upon the paper 2. Because Indian administration will help you in the general studies, polity portions, and that will be like your investment at that point of time. So this is what I just believe that at Vajiram, you can come and join us in order to make your journey smoother and ensure your success in the field of civil services examination. Isn't it? And for the requirement of the student, there are regular classroom program, that is June batch and the October batch. Those who have a scarcity of time and the challenges, for them quality enrichment program and crash course both are available. And if you have cleared your prelims and you are going to write your mains this year, then you can participate with us in the test series. Test series will be also again, I have prepared a holistic test series. There are section-wise tests for each paper, paper 1, paper 2, 3 tests have been created section-wise so that every portion you can develop in detail.
Okay.
Once the section tests are over, then 4 comprehensive tests have been designed. For paper 1, 2 tests, for paper 2, 2 tests. So that before UPSC will test you, you can scan yourself.
True.
From first unit to the last unit of your both the paper and ensure your success in the civil services.
True.
That is an idea. So this is my message to all the aspirants who wanted to take PABAD as an optional, that you can be a part of Vajiram and Ravi and to make your journey smoother, easier and interesting. You can participate with us as soon as possible.
Thank you so much. So I hope we were able to help the students to make an informed decision. And this is what you are going to get in the PABAD optional classes. You'll have those 3 pillar of strengths with you. So do not worry. and make sure you enroll. We will be back with another such sessions. Till then, you have to do just one thing, that is keep studying. Thank you. Thank you so much, sir, for joining us.
Thank you so much. Thank you.